Rise and shine. Starting off your day with good vibes and great music.
The greatest hits.
This is the Morning Fix with Tabby Minor
On Radio 44.
All right, it is 4 minutes after 9 in the morning. It is Tabby on the Morning Fix, and you're tuned in right here into the third hour. Always exciting to be here every weekday, 7 a.m. to 10 in the a.m. Now, in this hour, we sit with the Mexican ambassador to Kenya, Her Excellency Gisele Fernández Ludlow, who was appointed ambassador to Mexico last year. It's almost a year, and we will find out how that has been going. And also the fact that Mexico is hosting the World Cup for the third time. We will discuss that. She will also tell us her predictions when Mexico faces South Korea and South Africa. You want to be around for all of that and so much more. But you know what? You can start talking to me. You can start sending in your questions via WhatsApp 0758 123 444. Kicking off the hour, Enrique Iglesias by Lando coming through for you 4 minutes after 9. I want to see your questions. I want to get you to call me. So you know what? We can talk Mexico and World Cup. It is going to be an exciting hour. I'm already seeing you know what's up. It is crazy. But you know what? I'll get back to you in a bit. Right now, let's enjoy this one. Don't go nowhere. We catch up with the ambassador in a bit. Good morning. Amal Malik, Tulsi Kumar, Gulabi 2.0, taking off that 2017 film New Orleans, playing for you at 19 or rather 12 minutes after 9 in the morning. I am so excited to be joined by the Mexican ambassador to Kenya, Ambassador Gisele. How are you?
Thank you, Tabz, for having me. We are really excited to be here with you and your audience this morning.
You know what? Last night I was in a Spanish class because I just wanted to make sure that my Spanish is a bit good. So when I say buenos dias, what do you say?
Buenos dias is like good morning in Spanish, so you reply also good morning, buenos dias.
All right, so buenos dias, Ambassador. Bienvenida, Radio 44. I'm excited to have you here.
Thanks.
Welcome to Radio 44. What do you think about our studio, by the way?
I really like it. It's really modern and colorful, and you can say you have great vibes going on here.
There, she said it. Thank you so much for being here. And you know what? Let's just start off with the fact that Mexico is more than just telenovela, which is what we know. I mean, I grew up watching telenovela, but with the World Cup now at your doorstep, what is the one Mexican dish you think every fan should probably eat or needs to have in their hand while watching a match?
I think tacos will be that dish. The really cool thing about tacos is you can have them any time of the day. You can have them for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. You can have them vegetarian with meat, and then depending on what part of the country you are in, then the feeling of the taco will change. But let's say across all Mexico, tacos should be the go-to dish.
Yeah. Do you think here in Kenya, have you eaten tacos here in Kenya?
Yes, I have. They are really good. You can fill them with cheese, and sometimes it will be quesadillas with any type of meat, but also mushrooms. So it's yes.
So we're okay. We have the Mexican taste here in Kenya.
You have a bit of the flavor, absolutely.
we're trying. Okay. So now, when it comes to football. And because for me, when I watch football, I'm everywhere. I'm screaming on that corner. I'm moving around. And now the vuvuzelas were cancelled off, I don't know what I'll use. But what kind of a fan are you? Are you the moving up and down and excited? Are you the one who's analyzing those kicks and the corners? And what kind of a fan are you?
Well, I will start by saying that since being Mexican, the Mexican wave is in our DNA. In our DNA. So all the Mexicans are used to be waving in the stadium. So lots of movement, lots of screaming, of course, lots of snacks. So I will say I'm more of the moving, cheering, saying loud words.
I am definitely with you on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when we talk about the whole sporting culture, and now we'll dive into how Mexico is hosting for the third time, there's more beyond, sports. In terms of football, there's more beyond that in Mexico. And so I'm wondering, what is it about this game that holds such a special place in Mexican heart? What is it about sport? What is it about football?
I will start by saying that football means a strong community presence. So there is like this social aspect that unites people across generations, across income, across locations. And football is part of our national identity. Telenovelas might be one, but also the passion about football, and I will say passion is as similar as the one we have in Kenya for football, is what brings us together. And in this particular case, we are seeing the World Cup as a tool for development and social cohesion. And what do we mean by that? Of course, we will have the stadiums that will be filled with tourists and with Mexicans. But then the amazing thing will be that you will feel the vibe and the passion outside the stadiums, in the public parks, in every dirt road, in every space that Mexico will be hosting. So I think it will be this historic moment. Because, for example, I remember Mexico, as you mentioned, Tabz has been the host for of 3 inaugurations of World Cups. I remember the 1986 inauguration, but as a foggy memory. And I think now everyone is looking forward to refresh that memory that transformed not only the city, but the country itself. The architecture of the city, the infrastructure, the monuments that were built for that World Cup, we are also taking that into this World Cup. We are, of course, not only renovating stadiums and doing infrastructure connection to be able for the players and of course the visitors, but the city itself is transforming its parks, for example, is transforming the public monuments that we are going to have.
All right.
So I think everyone is really excited in Mexico.
And I think then we could say then that is the secret, because the fact that Mexico is hosting for the 3rd time, it's the culture blending in with the love of football and the people and the focus of the governments, as you said, to renovate spaces. Is that what you'd say is the secret that makes Mexico stand out so much that it is the first country to host 3 times, right? Is it that the secret? Is it the culture? Is it the love for football? What do you pinpoint as a secret?
I think it's a combination of 2 factors. One is the warmth and the hospitality that Mexican tourism is well known for. So that is a long-standing tradition of receiving guests. So the tourist part, we are expecting to receive 5.5 million tourists for the World Cup. So that will be one part of the secret. The other part of the secret is the experience, the preparation, the strong crowd management, improved airports, improved transport that we have, and particularly because with the other co-hosts, with Canada and the US, we are also strong trade partners. So we have already this connectivity between the 3 countries. And also internally, we also have the connectivity for the 3 cities, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. So the second aspect is this long-term infrastructure experience and crowd management that is already in place. We just adapted it for the World Cup.
I love it. You know what? I feel a FOMO. I just want to be in Mexico right now. I want to be there watching that game, and we will get into that in a bit, including talking about why the stadiums were picked and what about them is very interesting. We'll also talk about the difference in terms of the distances between the stadiums. We will go to Mexico in a bit with the ambassador here, and of course your questions are welcome. You want to send them in on 0758-123-444 on WhatsApp, or you can even call us and perhaps have a chance to speak to the ambassador directly. In a bit we come back, but right now, Sequinda Singh coming through with that. 27 after 9 is Javi on the Morning Fix, and I'm not alone in studio. I am joined by the Mexican ambassador to Kenya. She is here and she's excited to tell us what is going to be happening in Mexico. Ambassador Karibu, once again, I want you to give us a mental image of where the match will be happening. That is Mexico versus South Africa. It will be happening in Estadio Azteca. I think I said that right. Yeah?
Yes, absolutely, Tab. Your Spanish has improved a lot
Oh,
since
I'm
we
telling
started
you.
the interview.
Last night I was on homework duties. So it holds about 87,000 people, right? So for us who's never been there, please tell us what this space looks like. Give us a description of this atmosphere.
Well, I will start maybe with the feeling of, you need to know, is a historical stadium. It's a historical stadium because it will host the third inauguration of a World Cup. It hosted the 86 World Cup and also this really famous historic finale with Maradona scoring for that. In that stadium, and also Pelé wearing his Mexican mariachi hat. So all the images that you have about previous World Cups in Mexico, I'm pretty sure they happen in that historic stadium. So it will, for Mexicans, it is a source of pride because many things had already happened. It's also a stadium that is used for concerts, for American football. So it has this tradition of adapting. So that's the historic part. In terms of safety and order, the stadium was just renovated to comply with FIFA standards. So we will make sure it has the openness and also the security measures needed, but also the amenities to accommodate everyone that will come. The surroundings of the stadiums were also renovated. In fact, last weekend, the mayor of Mexico City inaugurated an elevated pedestrian access bridge to access the stadium. So it has been the whole area surrounding the stadium is a wide, comfortable stadium with the best technology available nowadays in terms of screen, in terms of music, in terms of having a great field also for the players. So hopefully everyone that will join or watch the inauguration will be able to imagine and to feel all the dancing and all the bouncing that will happen around. And maybe just to add a fun fact, I have a friend that lives near the stadium, and she can always say that I don't need to turn on my TV. I will feel the vibration
she
near
can
the
see
stadium
from her house.
because everyone cheers.
Yeah.
And if you live near the stadium, you will know if someone scored, even if you don't have your TV or your radio turned on.
Because then the cheer can get you literally in your kitchen.
The vibes will vibe.
I
Yes.
love it. I have so much FOMO to be in this stadium. But you know what? Also, we need to look at the fact that Mexico is hosting 13 matches, right, across the vibrant cities. So I just want also another mental description across these cities. What is the vibe in these cities? Why this city? Why were these cities chosen? And maybe take us through a quick road trip across the 3 cities that will host these matches.
Exactly. Yes, so I already spoke about the Estadio Azteca. That is the one in Mexico City, where you will be able to enjoy the culture and gastronomy of the capital of Mexico. The other stadium moving towards the east is Guadalajara. Guadalajara is also a really famous football city, so they already have the infrastructure. Guadalajara is also really famous because around that area is where the mariachis are from. So you will have lots of mariachi music. The tequila, the liquor, is also from around that area. So Guadalajara is known because of its music, mariachi, tequila tradition, so great gastronomy going on.
Do you enjoy watching mariachi?
Yes, I love it.
The
They
music?
will uplift in any party that you have in Mexico. We always send it, hopefully with a mariachi band, and if not, at least with mariachi music.
I want to experience Mexico so much. I mean, I literally have this image in my head, and I'm thinking, this is in my bucket list for sure.
Absolutely. And maybe the third city, Monterrey, is in the northern part of Mexico. That's where you will have like more typical sombrero style. They are famous because they eat lots of meat. Monterrey has also 2 big important football teams. They have also a strong female football team also in Monterrey. Is the most modern places that we have in Mexico in terms of connectivity and infrastructure. And also Monterrey, we will have the latest technology in terms of suburban train to connect. That will also be a brand new interurban train to connect to the stadium.
Yeah, that is something that has been particularly built to be able to ease that interconnection?
Exactly. So it was a train that was in the process of being constructed, but then with the World Cup, it is going to be inaugurated to allow greater connectivity, an interurban train to allow fans to access the stadium pedestrians.
Okay, I love that it's a mix of everything culture and everything fans and everything football, and the fans being in the central point of all this conversation just for them to have a perfect time. Now, you are sharing hosting duties, right, with the US and Canada for this biggest World Cup football, rather tournament for the 48 teams, right? So what is the dynamic between these three nations? Is it teamwork, or is it rivalry, or is it collaboration? Walk me through the dynamic as the three countries that are hosting the World Cup.
Yes. First, we need to say that President Sheinbaum, and just for your audience, Mexico has a female president for the first time. Her name is Claudia Sheinbaum. So President Sheinbaum has had a strong coordination team among authorities. So we are three countries that we are really used to be integrated in terms of trade, in terms of commerce. So that previous experience, we have taken it to build on it for the World Cup. And then, of course, if the time comes, the three countries are considered host countries, which is, I think, is also a first time in FIFA World Cups.
True.
But if it comes to be playing one against each other, of course, it will be sports courtesy, and then everyone will be cheering for their team. But I think it's a powerful message to say that despite all the political and economic tensions that can exist, the integration that football has brought us together. We are coordinating also in terms of health regulations. For example, for Ebola, the same rules or the same requirements are applying to the three countries because we coordinated. And maybe another important message, Tabz, is everyone needs to know that each country is maintaining its own visa requirements. That means if you have a US visa, it doesn't grant you automatic access to go to Mexico. If you have any questions, please visit the Mexican Embassy website, but that's an important fact that everyone should be aware that each country maintains its own visa requirements.
I like that you mentioned that, because earlier today I was reading a story on how many Africans are having trouble getting into the US because of the bans, but I think it's different for Mexico, as you mentioned, and it's probably easier on that side. So let's talk about your duty as a diplomat and the central point, or rather conversation of football. So how would you say, or how powerful is football when it comes to breaking down international borders in your perspective as a diplomat?
The same thing that happens inside every country, that football unites people regardless of their background, regardless of their age, regardless of their income. I will say you can also make that analogy to worldwide stage, so all the countries. You don't require to speak the same language. Everyone knows the rules. So I think it's also a sport that in nature it's a team sport. So I think that same team spirit of having the possibility to connect and to engage, that you cannot win by yourself. So the same thing goes to worldwide, to address current challenges like climate, like finance for development. You cannot do it by yourself. You need your team to do it together. So that's what I like about football and international relations.
Very true. It's the whole aspect of inclusion and discussion and knowing that you work as a team. I love that. And we will continue in a bit with Ambassador Gisele, who's here in studio with us. Listen, you can send in your questions on WhatsApp 0758123444 or just give us a call. And the ambassador might just be speaking to you directly. When we come back, we find out between Mexico and South Africa and between Mexico and South Korea, her predictions. We need to find out who she's vouching for and her predictions of those matches. All right, we're taking it in all the way into Mexico right now. Diljito Sanjosia, it is 17 minutes to 10 in the morning. It is Tabby, and I'm joined by the Mexican ambassador to Kenya, Her Excellency Gisele. She's in studio telling us what will be happening in Mexico. She's giving us the vibe of Mexico right here in studio. And if you're tuned in, I know you are enjoying it. Now, Ambassador, let's talk about something that is similar between Mexican football and Kenyan football. Let's talk about the fandom, because I think there's something you might have noticed with your time here in Kenya. So maybe tell us what you would have noticed as the similarity between Mexican football fans and Kenya football fans.
Yes, Tabz. I will start by saying passion and how committed fans are. For example, we were just discussing that some of the games will be early, really early in the morning. I mean 4 a.m. Kenyan time. And then everyone that I have asked, they say, oh, of course, we will wake up. We are committed fans.
Of course.
So we will wake up early if needed, but just to make sure we will follow those matches. So it shows of that passion, that willingness to make an effort regardless of the time difference. So that is one thing. The other thing is the music, dance-related aspect of it. Not only in the stadiums, but also outside the stadiums, in the mood building into it. Of course, we will have the performances, inauguration and closing, but it's not only about the performances, it's just about how do you celebrate a goal. Most of us will celebrate it with a bit of a shimmy dancing.
A bit of a dance,
part.
yeah.
So I think that's also super fun that we have in common. And also the creativity in terms of painting your face, of designing outfits, of bringing, those fun aspects to support your team. We are really creative ways of supporting your team. That's what I will say.
Like the vuvuzelas, right? What did you call the thing they blow in Mexico?
We call them matracas. It's a wood toy, and it's also super noisy. I will not bring it to the radio station, otherwise you will not hear us. But yes, it's a matraca sound that is also lots of fun to play with and also really noisy.
Do you know how I know and how I can back the fact that you've talked about passion being common? Is the fact that you're wearing a Mexico jersey right now. Because if I was interviewing a Kenyan speaking about perhaps our Kenyan team, that they would wear a Kenyan jersey. So good job. Thank you. I love it. Do you have one for me though?
I will need to know your size then, Tabz, and then we'll make sure you get one.
Thank you for that. So let's talk about again in the pitch, right? So beyond the 90 minutes, because you said there will be so many people coming into Mexico for this World Cup. So what kind of impact beyond those 90 minutes do you hope that the tournaments across Mexico will leave, especially for the local communities in Mexico? Let's talk about those and the impact of World Cup for those local communities. What would your insights about that be?
Yes, what President Sheinbaum's vision is, the most immediate effect, let's call it, will be long-term infrastructure benefits that we already spoke about in terms of airports, public transportation, connectivity surrounding the spaces themselves. But maybe the most profound change, the tradition, the legacy that we hope this World Cup to have is to be a social World Cup. And why do we mean by a social World Cup? Is a World Cup for everyone. Football as a tool for development, that will benefit families and future generations. So we have launched a special project to make sure in the most remote place of Mexico City, the football space has been renovated. Also in terms of inclusion for both men and women and younger generations. So the idea is that it will have a community presence that will allow community engagement as well. In terms of culture, what we want is come for the football, but stay for the culture, the gastronomy, the overall Mexican experience. So that's why we believe local communities will be able to enjoy outside the stadium the long-term impact that the World Cup will have.
Okay, I absolutely love that, because again, it should benefit its people. Every city that hosts this World Cup, it should definitely be benefiting its people. And I'm curious though, if say today, right? Let's bring the World Cup spirit in this studio. And if we had a match, a friendly match, say Mexican Embassy versus Radio 44. Pick someone that you've met so far here in Radio 44 to be the striker of your team and tell us what are the chances that we will draw in a friendly.
Yes, I think it will be a good chance. Why not? Because what Mexico's team, our current national team, has a good experience of a good mix, of experience athletes. For example, we have one goalkeeper, Guillermo Ochoa, that he will be playing his 6th World Cup. And because he's a goalkeeper, he has been able to play in all those tournaments. So we also have younger stars like Raúl Jiménez, so that will be also one of the Olympic experience and also World Cup experience players to watch. So we can always try to have that game and enjoy it.
Yeah. I was thinking, that's in the pitch. In Mexico, that will happen in the pitch. How about here in this studio? If me and you are having a friendly, or say Radio 44 are having a friendly match, Mexico, or rather Embassy of Mexico and Radio 44, who would you pick as a striker for your team?
Oh, I have some of my colleagues at the Mexican Embassy are really passionate about football, so I will pick one of my colleagues from the Mexican Embassy.
And do you think Mexico would win against Radio 44?
We are not that young and fitted, but yes, let's try.
Yeah, perhaps.
Perhaps. Okay. If it happens here in Kenya, we can definitely organize it and have fun.
I like that you're optimistic about that. So let's talk about the fact that Mexico will be playing in Group A against South Africa, and at some point also in against South Korea. So let's hear your predictions for these matches, for these tournaments. Could you give us your predictions?
Yes, maybe I should start by saying that when South Africa hosted the World Cup, just by coincidence, the inauguration match was also South Africa as a host country against Mexico. And in that occasion, we tied to 1 goal. So this time, we already know who we are playing against with, so I'm convinced that Mexico will be able to win against South Africa, and also being the host country advantage, we hope we will be able to win against them. And then we are playing, as you were saying, against South Korea and also Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, yes.
So we believe the team is ready to keep on scoring and play as best as they can. And I'm very sure they will feel the pressure as well, but it's part of the overall excitement and dedication that the players of the national Mexican team are ready to have.
Now, I'll put you on the spot so that you put a figure on it, yeah? So Mexico, South Africa, what is your prediction?
Mexico 2, South Africa 1.
Okay, Mexico, South Korea.
That one, I think we will tie to 1.
That's a draw, yeah, 1-1?
Yes.
Okay, and what about Mexico and Czech Republic?
Mexico, Czech Republic, I will say 2-0.
Yeah?
Yes.
We will be keeping you on the loop
You
to
have
find
written
out.
down, and I will need to come back then.
100%. So now we're able to check with receipts. She said 2-0. Let's check. Did they win? No. But we will be able to follow up on that as the World Cup proceeds. Finally, Your Excellency, for the listener who's on air right now, who's listening to us, and they are excited about the World Cup equally as much as we are, what would you be, or what would your official message to them? What would that be as the co-host of the 2026 World Cup tournament?
Well, my message will be this idea of Caribou to Mexico. And what do I mean by that? Is not everyone will travel to Mexico. I will not travel to Mexico. But the beauty of football is that is the passion and the unity can be felt everywhere and anytime. So I'm pretty sure Kenyans and Mexicans that are abroad like me and everyone that has just this vibration for football will be able to enjoy this World Cup, not only in the stadium, but also we will be able to transmit all the passion and unity around the stadiums as well. So that's my hopeful message, and Caribou to Mexico.
I appreciate that. How do you say Caribou to Mexico in Spanish?
Bienvenidos a Mexico.
Bienvenidos a Mexico.
Yes.
There you go. You had it from the horse's mouth. It's going to be exciting. It will be quite a tournament to be on the loop about. And Ambassador, I really want to also know, will the embassy have some sort of plan to host people when the Mexico team is playing?
Yes, we are partnering with several places. Maybe the one that I can say is we are partnering with Two Rivers Mall. So they will be transmitting the inauguration game with them. So everyone is welcome. It will be a watch party public event. We will have a small inauguration ceremony at 8:30. Followed by the official live broadcast from the concert inauguration game, and then the game itself, that's at 9, and then the game itself we start at 10 p.m. So the Mexican embassy at Two Rivers are inviting everyone to join us for that public watch party event.
I appreciate your time, Ambassador, for coming here, for bringing the feel of Mexico to the studio. I have FOMO. I feel like I just want to get my passport and go to Mexico and experience all of this culture, people, fans of football. And perhaps what is the one thing you'd like to tell us before you leave the studio?
The one thing I would like to tell everyone is the same way Kenyans are known for the warm hospitality. Mexico is also known for the warm hospitality. So my invitation is to know not only Mexico as a place that we have that in common, we have avocado in common, we have maize in common, but we are also friendly nations with vibrant citizens, and that's why I invite everyone to discover and know more about Mexico through football.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you so much for being so warm and welcoming us to Mexico. Thank you also for coming through, and thank you also for, I have not seen the Mexico jersey before, so it's nice to see that it's quite quality and good color. I love it, and we appreciate you so much. All the best also, because I know you took on some duties. It's almost a year. All the best in that.
Thanks.
And you know what? We will play Bad Bunny for you just before we wrap up, and then we'll have the song that you requested, Burna Boy and Shakira, right before we wrap up the hour. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tabz, for having me.
And you have a great day. You have a fantastic time, and all hail Mexico.